Hi students, and welcome to another e-lesson, this one over the researched argument essay research and planning component. As with all of these videos, please feel free to pause and rewind at any time to take notes, rewatch, or catch up. Here's what we're going to be working on in this video. We're going to take a look at the Mackin VIA Databases that Frisco ISD offers its students. We're going to look at how we want you to record your research so that your instructors can see that you have done adequate research for this assignment. Then finally, we're going to talk about outlining your essay. First, let's talk about the Mackin VIA Databases. Frisco ISD has for a number of years subscribed to a number of academic databases, which are essentially just archives of millions of articles, columns, and essays published in newspapers, magazines, academic journals, trade publications, encyclopedias from all over the world. But as of last year, these databases weren't all put together in one place on one website, but now they are. They're all searchable from one location, which saves students a ton of time. So let's take a look at how to use the Mackin VIA databases. You're going to just go out to a web browser and go to friscoisd.org. But you're going to go to Liberty's website specifically because we want ultimately to get to the libraries page. So friscoisd.org/Liberty. Excellent. Here is our school's homepage. You can find all kinds of information here about our school, but what we care about is the library page. And this is just the quickest way I've found to get to the library page outside of just saving it. I highly suggest bookmarking this page. No reason not to. Here's our library homepage. A lot of different things you can get to here. The library catalog, so you can see what we have in our library, a number of other helpful things. What we're concerned with for research are these the databases here. Want to click on those. And here we go. We've got a few extra guides here, things like EasyBib, which you'll need later on this year when we start actually citing our research. Here we go. This is what we want, the databases. So just click on the big Mackin VIA logo. And you're prompted for a few things. You're prompted to enter your school name, a user ID, and password. The school name is kind of a self-searching field, so if you just start typing Liberty, you're going to come up with a ton of different schools with Liberty in the name. Just keep typing Liberty High School. All right, and from there we can very easily find Liberty High School here in Frisco. Click on that. The user ID, let me check it really quickly. I've shared this document, or uploaded this document rather, to the lesson, so you'll have this to look at it outside of the video. The login for Mackin VIA is LibertyHS with no spaces, and the password is RedHawk. So let's try that. And it should work. There it goes. Alright, so what we have here are all the databases that we have access to. Database is already selected when we go in there. Yeah, look at all these things. We have there's a couple of them that I really prefer to use. I know that there's a lot of different databases we subscribe to, but honestly, I'll tell you, in all the research that I do, I don't have a lot of need for a bunch of these. Really, I use two, and I think these are the two that you'll only need for research assignments in AP Lang. The first is going to be the Gale Academic One file. Gale is just a big time database, and the other one's going to be EBSCOhost. So let's try out Gale first. So when you want to take a look inside, when you want to start searching through one of these databases, just click on Open Now. So we're going to search through Gale first, and it takes us out to Frisco's account through the Gale Academic One file. So we can just start searching right here. We can search for keywords, subject. If we're looking for specifically articles published in New York Times, we can search New York Times under publication title, those sorts of things. I recommend just starting with a keyword search. And remember, you want to be as specific as possible, especially when you first start off. So if my sample essay is going to be over anti-intellectualism in America, I'm going to start off just with anti-intellectualism. And we'll just start there. Yeah, let's just start there. Excellent. And it's returned a lot of things. Yes, quite a few things. 67 articles from academic journals, 81 articles from magazines, 2 books, 59 news articles and columns, and 1 piece of audio. I want to narrow that down just a little bit. Let's say my essay is about anti-intellectualism in America. I can go over here to search within results, type in America, hit search. And there we go. That's a much more manageable number. Now, if you're completely overwhelmed by the number of entries that you see, because this is, even with that narrowed down, this is still, well, this is hundreds of items here. What I'd recommend that you stick with, your kind of bread and butter for this sort of research assignment, are going to be things you find in newspapers, the big newspapers. So try clicking on news to narrow your search. This is just a really good way to narrow your search down and still have some really recognizable sources to pull from. So once I've kind of narrowed it down to just newspapers, I'm going to kind of just skim through some of these titles. Ooh, nudity in philosophy, the 70s way. Interesting. All right, let's try something more more along the lines of what we're looking for. Let's see, here we go. Interesting. An article on spend more on academics, not athletics. New York Times. It's a quality source. So I want to take a look at that first. And from there, it's all about just reading. Just reading right there. This looks like a letter to the editor. Darn, not really what I'm looking for. I'd rather something actually written by an author. Let's see, here's another article. Do our universities need a makeover? That looks interesting. It's kind of part of the fixing the educational system. Ah, it's another letter to the editor. This is what research is sometimes. All right. Another letter to the editor. Obama and the War on Brains. This one actually has an author listed, so yes, it is an actual column written by Nicholas D. Kristof. So I'll probably want to read this. Published in the New York Times, has some credibility. It's one of their op-ed pieces. So I can read through this. If it's something that's going to help me learn more about my topic, something I can use in my paper, I can start taking notes from there. So that's how you use the Gale Academic 1 file. EBSCO is very similar. If you wanted to try EBSCO, I don't believe EBSCO has quite as much stuff to look through as Gale, but it does have quite a bit. The problem is, to get to EBSCO, you got to jump through a bunch of hoops. Once you've clicked on Open Now to get to the EBSCO host, then you'll next need to go to EBSCO host web, right here. And then you'll need to find one more thing, Academic Search Complete, to get to their complete academic database. And now we can finally search for something. So I'll try my same search. Same search. There it goes. And we've got quite a few things once again. Anti-intellectual, goodness, 233 results. So about the same number of results from the Gale database. And once again, I can narrow it down to magazines, book reviews. I don't know how that would help. Newspapers. Once again, let's narrow it down to newspapers just to see. Again, you don't have to narrow your search to just newspapers. You can feel free to look in magazines. Academic journals are usually written at a very high lexical level, so they can be kind of difficult to read. But newspapers are a really good way to start. And here we go. A lot of the same things that we saw on the Gale database, which is great. Yeah. Let's check out Obama and the War on Brains. This is another editorial written by Nicholas Kristof. This seems to be a subject he deals with quite a bit. The thing with EBSCO host, they don't always show you the full text on the very front page. Sometimes you have to hunt for the full text. So let's see if we can find it here. Okay, so usually if there were the full article out here for us to look at, it would have an excerpt to read, or an excerpt. It would have a link for us to click on to see the full text. I'm not seeing one on here. We may not be able to look at the full text. We were in the Gale database, so that's 1 point for the Gale database. Ah, here we go. Here are the articles we can actually read in EBSCO. It'll say HTML full text. So this is an article from USA Today, another national newspaper. There we go. So we can actually read this article as it appeared in USA Today. So that's how EBSCO host works. You know, it's pretty comparable to Gale, except it looks like maybe it doesn't always have, at least doesn't have New York Times articles, but oh well. So those are the two databases I recommend, especially for this assignment. There's a number of others that you can play around with. All of these different Gale databases are really just the big database broken up into sections. So why even bother? Why narrow your search that much to begin with? So that's the Mackin VIA Databases and how to use those, how to access those from home. Let's talk about recording your research. All right, Ms. Krug and I need a record that you have performed at least some research for this assignment, so I've created a very simple assignment component on this e-lesson to share that research with us. The assignment asks that you summarize at least 3 sources that you read using 80+ words in a simple paragraph, and then respond to each source, essentially joining the conversation with a paragraph, another 80+ words. And as you can see there, the assignments are just right here, the essay research assignment. This time, rather than responding to a writing task within the browser, it's actually asking that you upload a document. Make sure you follow all of the directions there. We do need you to upload a document that we can actually look at, so make sure that it's a Windows compatible document. Outside of that, we can read Word documents. You can do it in Google Docs and download it as a Word document. You can do Apache Open Office files. Our Microsoft Word here will open that, so just make sure that it's a Windows compatible file. And of course, as always, if you need like assistance on, you're not really sure what we're looking for with an assignment, I usually include a sample of what to do to help you start off with. So once you're finished recording that, performing that research, recording that research, you should have a really good idea of what you're going to write in your essay. You need to do one more thing. We need you to create an outline. Plan out your essay by creating an outline. We don't have any requirements on how to format it. Format the outline however you like. Use numbers, letters, Roman numerals, lowercase, symbols, dashes, who cares? But we do ask that it be at least 25 lines long. What I mean by that is if, say, this PowerPoint slide were my outline, it's only 3 lines long. So make sure that your outline is at least 25 lines long. And once again, out here, I've got a sample essay outlines that'll help you out, okay? And you submit that outline under the assignment called essay planning, okay? All right. That's it for this short video. Hopefully it was short. I'll have to check the time. Over essay research and planning for the researched argument paper. Thank you for watching. Feel free to watch again. Make sure that when you come to class to write that timed rough draft, that you bring with you any planning, any research that you need to compose that paper. We're not going to just sit you down and deny you all the research you've done. Bring with you, print things out, bring your outline with you. That way it'll make a much easier rough draft. Thanks again for watching.